Good afternoon, evening, whenever you see this, my loves. For those of you that are new to my page or my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Symphony Thompson, and I am a self-care coach that helps millennials create more holistic and intentional self-care routines to aid them on their healing journey. And today is Friday. And I really have absolutely nothing to talk about. But in the spirit of obedience, I am here and I am showing up as I always do, transparent, vulnerable, open, and honest. And like I said yesterday, I've just been in my emotions. I haven't really been feeling it, but through it all, the things that inspired me is the fact that somehow, some way, I always find the strength to continue to carry on. Regardless of what I'm going through, I always find the strength to motivate myself to push through. And I just want to encourage y'all today to do the same thing. Like, I was listening to one of my favorite podcasters, Patrice Washington, and on her platform, we redefine wealth. Like, yes, our main goal is to get money, but money is not our main focus. And in her recap episode that I was listening to today, she was basically saying how she was talking to her life coach about like coming up with a assignment on forgiving her younger self for all of the stuff that she didn't know. And she was like, and my life coach has definitely checked me on this. So thank you so much, Jackie, for always showing up and like putting me in my place. But she was like, she asked her life coach for an assignment to forgive her younger self for not knowing. And her life coach basically told her, like, how dare you try to check your younger self for not knowing the things that you know now, when your younger self is the reason that you are in the places that you're in now. Your younger self is the reason why you show up in spaces the way you do now. Your younger self is the reason why you've been reading those books, why you started going to all of these events, why you started changing your environment and the people that you surround yourself with. Like, how dare you? And it really made me think, like, it's very rare that I sit back and like appreciate myself for the things that we've gone through. And I say we because it's we, all of us in here. Like, every version of Symphony that has been through something that brought me to 30-year-old Symphony. From elementary, middle, high school, like all of those versions of me, I never appreciated them. I never like took time and sat with and even now I do sit with like younger Symphony, elementary age Symphony, but I never go back and I talk to middle school Symphony, because that's the version of Symphony that was being bullied, and that's the reason why I started becoming so angry and harboring so much hate. And that trickled into high school and college Symphony, leading up to the person that I am now, until I realized, like, that was just your defense mechanism. That's not who you are. Like, I have to forgive myself. Well, not even forgive myself, because that's the whole point. And it's not trying to demean yourself or make you feel less than because you had to experience those things. But I really want to try to love myself again. Like, try not to get upset with myself when I feel like I'm kind of reverting back to feeling like I need to be protected because, when you're still healing from certain things, you don't know how to separate what is a survival instinct that you just innately have or what's actually going on. Like anything in your life, no matter how much work you've done, there's always going to be something that triggers you, especially if you're not doing that inner work and paying attention to the things that you need, and if you haven't dealt with or talked about or written out those things that happened to you in your past life, those things are going to surface and they're going to trigger you. So you have to be prepared not to cause more problems, if that makes sense. Like when something arises that's from the past, not to beat yourself up about the way that you respond to it. Because sometimes we don't realize that it's just a trigger from something that happened and it's not the actual situation. And then we end up beating ourselves up and we like, oh, we did all of this work. And I know I do this all the time. Like, every time the same lesson comes back around, because we always experience the same lesson, either because we didn't we didn't learn the lesson, or because we still have more growing and learning and healing to do within that lesson. So every time a lesson resurfaces and you have to deal with it, don't let your first thought be, damn, I messed up. Think about where you were the first time it happened. Like, what mindset were you in the first time that you experienced this? Because, and I said this yesterday too, like, we complain about all of these skills and stuff that we learn at a job, and then we say, oh, I'm not going to use this ever again. But there's so many things that I learned from working at TJ Maxx and working at the bookstore and even working at McDonald's. Like, there are so many different things that I've learned working at these different places that help me in building my business, that helped me in operating in Faded Beauty. Like, being able to fold those shirts. Like, I used to get tired of folding towels at TJ Maxx and folding shirts at the bookstore. But now those things are helping me in life. Yes, it's a small skill that I didn't think I was going to ever use. Like, even being in organizations when I was on campus, like, that being able to organize meetings and being able to write down the minutes and actually, like, being a part of an organization. Like, I was a secretary for multiple organizations, so I'm very good at administrative stuff. Like, I was my professor's administrative assistant for a couple of years. So, like, even though I'm running the business by myself, it's like I have 10 people because I have these skills. You know what I mean? So it's like when you go through life and you go through these lessons, ask yourself, what is this lesson here to teach me? What can I learn from this? Like, our whole thing is to be intentional in everything we do. From the time that we wake up in the morning, how am I going to create this day? What do I want this day to look like? And I know a lot of our schedules are consistent. There's no changing, no altering it. But what could you do differently today and every day after to make sure that you set the intention for what you want to receive, what you want the outcome to be for that day? Like, literally waking up. And my thing is, every morning I wake up and I say, God, you know what we doing today? I don't have any ideas. I don't have any plans. Like, what are we doing today? I wake up, I drink my water, I get ready to go walking, And while I'm walking, that's when I start getting ideas of what I want to create, how I want to make my day, like the talks that I want to have with y'all. Like, that's when I get all of that stuff. But it's crazy how me taking care of myself, me focusing in on myself, me accepting those lessons and being willing to learn from those lessons and grow from those lessons, and even when they're challenging, even when, Jackie taught me a long time ago, we don't have bad days, we have bad moments. So even in the midst of this bad moment, what is it here to teach me? What can I use this for in the future? How can I use this knowledge that I'm about to gain now to help somebody else? Because that's the other thing. A lot of the stuff that we go through and we experience, it's not necessarily for us. It's for us to be able to help other people. It's for us to be able to say, you know what, I've been there and I got out on the other side of that. I promise you everything is going to be okay. And I was just telling one of my friends, Mamie, yesterday, it's a privilege for me to have friends. And I'm not going to say me because that's selfish. It's a privilege for my husband and I to be surrounded by so many successful people, no matter where you are in your success. Like, most of my friends are just now starting businesses, but they've been out here doing things for years, and they're successful in their own area. Like, and it's an honor for us to be surrounded by so many successful people that can tell us, like, yeah, you're going through this right now, but I know who you are. I know who God says you are. I know who you show up in spaces as. And I know that, yes, you're in this situation. Yes, it might not seem like it's going to end, but because I know you and I know the God that you serve, I know that this is only temporary. And on the other side of this situation, I know that you'll be able to help so many other people. You'll be able to pour into so many more people. You'll be able to help so many other people heal. And I think it's such a privilege, and we need to really start appreciating those people that we say that we love. We need to start showing them how we love them and support them, because sometimes, even though we show appreciation for them, we often take those people for granted. Like, being able to still be in contact with professors from college, like, even though you're not their student anymore, and they're still invested in your life, they're still invested in your success. Like, that's crazy. Not everybody has that ability. Not everybody is surrounded by such beautifully, I don't know, like, the mindset, the capacity, the inspiration that these people have. Like, not everybody is privileged to or has the honor of being around such beautiful people, which is why I always say, create a space worthy of your creation. And I say that means people, places, and things. Your house, create a space worthy of your creation. You're not going to be able to create in clutter. Your job, if it's something like, and I didn't even realize this until a couple of months ago, I have PTSD from my last job. Like, that's crazy. So if you can't successfully create or feel safe in the environment, how can you possibly expect for you to do your job the way that you need to do it? How can you expect to, if you're a teacher, pour into your students the way that you need to when you're in a toxic environment? If you're just working in retail, like, how can you expect to do your job the way you need to do it if you're in a toxic environment? Like, Create a space worthy of your creation. If that means that y'all have to have the hard conversations with your supervisors and your co-workers in order for y'all to create that culture in your business, then that's it. You're just going to have to be that one person that does it. Like, create a space worthy of your creation. How are your friends showing up for you? Are you one of those people that need your friends to check in on a regular basis? Like, are you one of those people that, like, I'm the type of person, you gonna get podcasts and songs and some articles that I done read. Like, I'm that type of friend. Your phone is going to be blown up with hella podcasts. If I heard something that inspired me, I know that you need it too, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm that person. Create that space. Create that love. I don't even know where all of this stuff just came from, but apparently this is Friday's conversation. Create a space. Create a space worthy of your creations. That's in love. That's in family. That's in business. That's in personal, for self. Like, because we say personal most of the time and then we mean family. But in this instance, when I say personal, I mean self. How are you showing up for yourself? What does your self-care routine look like daily? Are you getting your 30 minutes in? Are you actually thinking, feeling your thoughts and your emotions? Are you writing in your journal? Are you sharing that space or creating that space spiritually so you can be grounded, like mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually? How are you creating a safe space for your self-care practices? That's my question for you today. I love you. I hope you have an awesome, awesome day filled with so much love, light, and positivity. I hope that today brings you something unexpected but needed. I hope it blesses you. I hope that you can be a blessing to somebody else as we continue to heal ourselves, heal each other, and ultimately heal the world. As always, fill your cup before you fill anybody else's. Peace.